Okay, so now that you understand how to use the vertex groups panel, we're going to move forward and take a look at when we assign a vertex group to a vertex, which is the same name as the bone. How does the vertex actually deform and how do we control it? So we're going to be talking about this weight value over here. So now this bone is dev.arm.upper.l. So let's go ahead and find that vertex group in the vertex groups panel. Click on this vertex and click on assign. Now notice that because this value was set on 1, that's the number we're getting over here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is first press the tab key to go into object mode, and go ahead and click on the object tab and click on wire. Now notice that when we enable wire, this is showing the additional mathematically generated faces that are coming from the subdivision modifier. Okay, now when we press the tab key to go into edit mode, here we're only seeing the low resolution version of the figure. So this tells you is that when you are going through the rigging process, you want to be working with the low resolution of the figure, and Blender will take care of assigning the additional vertex groups to these surrounding mathematically generated faces automatically. Okay, so now notice that we just assigned this vertex group to this vertex. Okay, now go ahead and click on the modifiers tab, open this up. Now go ahead and zoom it. Okay, now press the tab key. So notice that over here we have additional vertices, but when we press the tab key, we're not click on them, right? It's not going to let us. So press the tab key, and just as an example, just click on apply. It's going to give you an error message that it should be on top before applying it, but that's okay. Now when we press the tab key, you're going to see these additional faces. Remember, we applied the vertex group over here. Because of the subdivision modifier, when the faces are getting generated mathematically, Blender is going to automatically assign the vertex, this same vertex group, to the surrounding vertices. So if you click over here, notice that the value is now starting to go down, right? And over here, it's not going to appear. So it will basically assign the vertex group to the surrounding vertices, and this is the one where we started out with, and notice that the value is just different. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So now go ahead and just reload this file and do the same thing, and now just apply it. So you already know that over here, go ahead and click on the wire. Now go to the modifiers tab. We're going to actually turn this off because it's going to get in our way. So if we press the tab key, we're seeing the additional faces, but if we turn this off, we're just going to see the low resolution version of the figure. We're just doing this so we can understand some additional concepts. Now, go ahead and click on this bone over here and make sure it's in pose mode. Go ahead and zoom in. Now, when you press the R key to rotate, notice that the vertex is going to keep the exact distance from this bone. Right click to cancel. Now the reason it's doing this is because this is the only thing that it knows how to do. It's only assigned to one vertex group, which is for this bone over here. Now go ahead and click on this tab and move to stick. This is so we can actually see how much the distance is between this vertex. Press the R key to rotate. So now you can see that how this is working. Go ahead and now click your mouse like this. Now click on the figure, press the tab key to go into edit mode. Now notice that the vertex is selected over here, but actually it should be over here. Now the reason this is happening is because you have to go to the modifiers tab, and on the armature modifier, you have to make sure that you have this one clicked and this one clicked. Okay. Now if you click on this one, it's not going to deform the modifier. Okay. And this one over here, if you hover your mouse, it's just saying adjust the edit gauge to the modifier result. Okay, now go ahead and zoom in. So when you have this vertex selected, notice that when we change these numbers, nothing is happening to this vertex. The reason again is because this vertex only knows to do one thing, and that is simply follow wherever this bone goes, right, using this vertex group. But the way it works is that when you move these values down, the vertex should be moving. So go ahead and put this on 1. Okay, now notice that here is the dev.shoulder.l. So if we go to the data tab and go ahead and click on the shoulder vertex group, and as soon as we assign it, the vertex is going to now move down. Now, why is this happening, right? So as you've seen that here is the dev.arm.upper.l. Go ahead and push this all the way to 0. Notice that the vertex goes exactly back to where it was, meaning that this bone has not moved, right? And when we increase this value here, we're telling the vertex to start following the dev.arm.upper.l bone. So this is why it's moving, right? So you see that it's only moving basically halfway over here, right? Now if we turn this off for the shoulder, meaning that it's not going to care about the shoulder bone, now it'll just go back to its original position. So this is how this concept works when you are using vertex groups to deform your vertices, right? So we can position this anywhere that we want, go to the armature, and now when we press the R key, you'll see that it's deforming a bit differently. So this is how this concept works in Blender. Now click on the figure, press the tab key. Now the thing that you need to understand about this is go ahead and click this on 1. Is that this value that you're seeing here for the weight can only be a value from 0 to 1. So what this value is what is called a normalized value. It can only be 0 to 1. Now when you add additional vertex groups to a single vertex, the total sum of this value needs to equal 1. Right now it's equaling 2. So what Blender is going to do behind the scenes is that it's going to automatically normalize these values, so when you add them up, they will total 1. Now you can see this if you just click on this normalize button. Click it. This is what Blender is doing behind the scenes. So Blender doesn't care what you do over here, right? This is for you, so you can position the vertex just like what you want. Now if you want to see the actual numbers, you simply have to click on normalize. So it's good practice that once you've changed these numbers to position the vertex exactly where you want, you simply click on normalize. Okay? It's actually a pretty straightforward concept as to how this is working. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is take a look at, okay, so when we are messing with these numbers, if we enable show weights, what does it look like, right? So over here, when you switch to a vertex group, it's going to show you these colors. Go ahead and click on the dev.arm.upper.l. Remember, this show weights concept, it helps you visualize the assigned vertex group to your vertices as to how the numbers are. So to understand this, if you go all the way to 1, it'll just be red. And of course, if you go to around 5, it's going to be green. And anything below that will simply go back to all the way to 0. It's basically blue, right? So you can see that's how these colors are changing. So when you are going through the rigging process, you'll get used to the idea of green, which is in the middle, and 1, which is all the way red. Okay? And it's the same thing over here. You can see that when we're changing the numbers, the colors are not going to change. It's because we're not clicked on this vertex group. As soon as we click it, now it's only going to show the colors for this currently selected vertex group. So this is how this concept is working. Okay? So now you understand this. Okay? Now if we click over here on the modifiers tab and enable the subdivision modifier, now you'll see that over here what is actually going on. So if we click over here, you'll notice that, remember when the mathematically generated faces were getting automatically assigned the vertex group when they were surrounding this vertex? This is what it's showing. We can't actually click on those vertices for those faces because we have not applied these division surface. But you can see how it's automatically doing it for you. This is why we're seeing this green color, meaning that it's a value of 5. Remember when we clicked on it, it was a value of 5. So now when you decrease it, you'll see that these numbers are also going to decrease, right? So you can see the power of this, right? Working in the low resolution version of your figure will give you much more greater control in making sure that the deforms are working correctly. Because if you think about it, right, if we press the tab key and go ahead and apply this and now do the tab key, notice how many vertices there are over here. So this is going to be very difficult to work with, right? It's better to work with the low resolution version and let Blender figure it out with the mathematically generated faces from the subdivision modifier. Now, since we've applied this, you can notice, look at the values over here, right? 7 and 3. Now, once you've applied the subdivision and you want to modify this, of course, you're going to have to do this vertex by vertex, right? So that's how this concept works. Now, what I want to show you over here is this icon over here and this button over here, right? What is the difference between these? So now let's go ahead and actually click on this vertex over here. Notice that it has the vertex group assigned. Now click over here. You'll notice that there is no vertex group defined. So if you click on this vertex, press the shift key down and now go to this one. Remember, you have to come back to this so you can access this panel. Now go ahead and click on this button. Basically, what it's going to do is copy this group's weight to the other selected vertices. Okay, so if you click this, you'll notice that nothing is happening. It's not assigning it. This is because it's only going to copy the weight if this had the vertex group. So in order to do this, we would have to click on copy first, and now this vertex is getting the vertex group, right? That's how this is working. So notice what it just did, right? It didn't, let's do that again. Click on this vertex. There's nothing here. Press the shift key down and click over here. Now, notice that when we click on copy, it's going to copy every vertex group that's on this vertex to this vertex. Go ahead and click on copy. Okay, so now you can see that, okay, well, now click on this vertex, press the shift key down, click over here, and now if you change the value over here, now you click this, all it's going to do is take the value from the single group and copy it over here. You'll see that it's exactly the same. Okay, so that's how this concept is working over here. Okay, now go ahead and just reload this file. So now you know how this works. Now press the tab key to go into object mode over here. So what we're going to do is simply just drag this figure out and drop it back in, and now do it with automatic weights. And of course we have to go to the modifiers tab because it would have dropped it. You have to click this, click on this, and make it go up. Now go ahead and press the tab key on the figure. Okay, now do show weights. Okay, so now when we have this vertex selected and we click over here, you're going to see that when it switches over here to this vertex group, we can actually see how the automatic weighting system is applying these weights, these vertex groups with these weight values to the surrounding vertices, right? So it's based on the location of this bone. The bone is shooting out rays, and whenever these rays hit these vertices, they will automatically get this vertex group. Now notice that how it tapers off, right? This is a value, if you come over here, it's getting close to a value of 1, which this is why it's showing up red. Now it's going below it, below it. I'm looking at this vertex group over here, right? It's slowly tapering out. So it's losing its influence, right? Now if you click on shoulder to come back the other way, you'll see that how the shoulder is coming back this way. Look at this vertex group over here. Right, so you can see that how these bones are fighting between themselves for the influence, meaning that if we click on the dev.upper.l, you'll notice that it can't assign vertices that are here because these bounds are also shooting rays out. So we're going to understand how is this working, right? I just want you to first see how this looks. Now, if you press the tab key, click over here and press the R key, you'll see that how this is moving. Now go ahead and move this down here, right? So here you can see that we can use this concept to click on the figure, press the tab key, and now go ahead and take a look at each vertex, right? And see that, okay, well, maybe we want to move this deform area when the arm moves down, move this vertex over here. So the way you would do this is you have to go through which vertex group to use, right? And this is just an art form in itself. So if we click on the dev arm and now start to change these numbers, you'll see that we can start to move them, right? Now, if we change over here, we can change how this vertex is getting deformed, okay? So you can do this vertex by vertex if you want. You can just click over here. Now you can see that we can change it, bring it more in here like this, okay? So this is basically this concept over here as to how it works, okay? So let's go ahead and reload this file first, okay? Now, what I want you to notice is that if you go under File, do New, and just do Reload Startup File, click over here, X and delete, and actually let's go ahead and X and delete this, do Shift A, and add a single bone, press the 1 key, press the 5 key to go into Ortho View. Now do Shift A and add a plane. Do your middle mouse button to rotate. Press the Tab key to go to Edit Mode on the plane, do W and just do subdivide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Now since we're in edit mode, press the 3 key, press the R key, and just press the control key down. It's going to snap to the grid and rotate it. Press the 1 key and now press the S key to scale this. Now press the Tab key to go back into object mode. Now go ahead and click on this plane and drag it onto the armature and then do with automatic weights. Now when we open this up, drag this down, click on the plane, press the Tab key to go into edit mode, open this up. Now over here you're going to go ahead and go to display, right? And actually go under mesh display over here and go ahead and click on show weights. Now notice that because there's a single bone, it's going to automatically assign the value of a 1 to all these vertices over here, right? It's only going to get this vertex group, meaning that because we did automatic weights and because it's a single bone, it's going to capture everything inside the 3D view, okay? So now go ahead and click on the armature, press the Tab key to go to edit mode, click on the body, do Shift D, move this bone over here, Shift D, move it here, Shift D, move it here. Press the Tab key. Now click on the plane, press the Shift key down and click on this bone. You can see that it's selected here in the outliner. Now when you do Control P, you can just do with automatic weights. Now go to the plane and press the Tab key. Notice that how this is working. So if you go over here to the data tab, you can switch between these bones and you can see that how Blender is shooting rays out of these bones. Okay, so go ahead and now reload this file and we'll talk about this in more depth in the next lesson. Thank you.